Welcome back. You're still tuned in to News and Views with myself, Salailo Makwidieri. The time is 8:39 Central African time, and it's time for hashtag Africa Focus feature. This is a part of a show where we look at some of the biggest, most pressing stories on the African continent. And at this current moment, I don't think it gets any bigger than Uganda's 2026 general elections. It was a vote that essentially drew international scrutiny for the country, and there are heated debates around the incumbent President Yoweri Museveni, who's been in power for 4 decades now, and has been declared of a seventh term. And his main challenger, his main opposition, being Bobby Wine, has rejected the results as bogus and fraudulent, and opposition supporters and civil society groups say the process in itself was undermined by intimidation. There was ballot manipulation and heavy-handed security tactics. Human rights organizations also came out and raised their own concerns about repression and how one of the main things was the fact that there was an internet blackout during the time of the election. So the rest of the world was essentially blind to what was happening inside of Uganda during those 2 days of elections. So we'll be unpacking that. We'll be taking a deep dive into those elections, what they mean for Uganda's democratic future, and how are citizens on the ground interpreting them. And we'll be doing that with two very, very concerned citizens, Charles Olanya and Dr. Juliette Essien, who are both Ugandan citizens, and they have insights into the political landscape of the country, and they're both joining us for our virtual platform. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes.
There we go. I think we'll jump right into it. Maybe, Charles, I'll start with you, and Doc, you can follow afterwards. For our listeners here in South Africa and across the African continent who may not be following closely what's been happening in Uganda, what would be your short synopsis, your short, I think, kind of introduction into the political landscape of Uganda and the recent elections and how they played out this year? Charles, you can start.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, the presenter, Mr. Badiri. Actually, Uganda is in confusing state. The country at the moment, politically, is not okay. If you can remember, this is the second contested. The previous election was also the same because a lot of people died, over 300 plus. That was the previous years. This is the second time. And remember, the first time even they killed his bodyguard. In fact, the driver was supposed to be killed, but they, instead of killing himself, Bobby Wine, they shoot the driver by mistake. But now this time we can see that Uganda is in a turmoil. I remember on the 15th of this month when the election was said, a lot of people were killed. Secondly, there was a total blackout in the country, and the NU, West being the majority party currently in the country, most of his supporters were either kidnapped before the election, and secondly, most of these party agents were restricted from their position of carrying out duties during the election. So we as citizens of Uganda who are concerned of what is happening in our country, we are so much concerned. We need actually a help. Actually, we need something that Uganda government should be expelled from most of the international body, because what is happening in Uganda currently, it is really very, very shameful to the entire system which is in place, the NRA government. We can see that the Museveni son issue a lot of very bad statement that if Bobby Wine will be killed, will be arrested, they will kill him. So that one, we see that there's no a proper landscape in voting system in Uganda, because the son of the president, how can a son issue that a statement? And as being soldiers. So we can see for ourselves that there are even no any professional soldiers in the country. Thank you.
Doc, let me come to you. What's your analysis of the recent elections? Almost 40 years of Yoweri Museveni's reign in Uganda. Your analysis on that, and well, him having a landslide win in these recent elections.
Thank you, my brother from another mother. I greet you, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dr. Juliette Essien. I'm a Ugandan. I hail from northern Uganda, part of the country that has never seen peace since 1986 when Museveni was power. I'm one of those that witnessed a lot of atrocities being done by this man called Mr. Museveni and his lot. Uganda is under siege by the Tutsi dynasty. It's a thing that they have organized. Is actually an arranged purpose to come and take over our country. Uganda is completely under the Tutsi dynasty rule. Museveni and Kagame are the ones in charge of our country. The country is being silenced. As the electoral observers describe it as, together with the human rights groups, that widely they say that the election has actually been marred with intimidation, irregularities, and violence, killings. It is not an election. It's actually about power, fear. They are causing fear into the citizens and shrinking space of democracy in Uganda. The world has turned a deaf ear and they've turned their eyes away from us for a very long time. We have suffered under this regime. There are so many things that has not been captured in the social media domain because when they blacked out electricity, over 140 youth were killed. During the election, during the campaigns, when Bobby Wine was moving around the country, they were marking out all those youth. They would trail them, the intelligence staff would trail them to their houses. So they were handpicked. That after the election on the 15th, 16th in the morning, over 140 youth were taken off and killed. I reliably told that when they killed them, they dumped them into Lake Victoria. They come back and pack them in bags. I talk this because I am one of the victims that has suffered in the regime of Museveni and his Tutsis. Now where we are at a turning point and everybody has to rally behind us. I know and I do believe that when the white supremacy come in play, because Uganda is under Britain and America, they have kept silent. Why have they kept silent for this long? It is us. I'm a mother. I know how painful it is to give birth to a child. We are the ones who give birth to the world. We are the mothers of the nation. We feel the pain. If my neighbor's child is killed, it's my child. And Uganda must rise up. It is time for us to speak out. There is no more silence. The more we keep quiet, the more these people are getting more comfortable to kill our children, kill us, to dismay us, put us into jail. What have they not done? Museveni has a character. His wife wrote a book that in 1955, when his father passed on, when her dad passed on, the father of Museveni gave milk that Museveni should take at the funeral. When he got in the middle of the road, he drank the milk, and the remainder, he spilled it down into the bush. So this tells you what kind of human being we are having as a president. He does not care for anybody, and this is a refugee. They came to Uganda as refugees. They gave them the comfort. They have overstayed their welcome. We must take back our country. This country does not belong to President Museveni and the Tutsis. They want a Tutsi dynasty. The Britain and America, they should come up clearly and tell us what is this secret that they have kept this man for this long, because if the Europeans, they don't want this man would have gone. They say that if me, I talk without fear because I know the next thing, I've already lived my life. I was born, I have lived my life. All I'm left with is to die. So I don't fear to die. Truth is the matter is the Europeans, the Americans, let them come to our help. During the insurgency, they put us in IDP camp for over 22 years, something which was very illegal. Myself, when Museveni came to power, I was 11 years old. I was in primary 6. Now I am 51 years old. What is this old man doing there? Why are the European white man keeping this man in our place, in our home? A refugee that came, and Obote made sure that he gave him the most comfortable space. They did not stay in the IDP camp. They went to the most prestigious schools in Uganda. They lived at the IDP camp. They have overstayed their welcome. Enough is enough. This time round, we must rise up. Museveni must go. Even the world knows this old man has to go. His time is up. Now they want to install his son, who is even more ruthless than his father. He goes out in the social domain. When he goes to social media, he says it openly that he has killed 22, and that number is very little. Really? Why should the world keep a deaf ear? Why are they silent on this matter? What have we done wrong to the world that we don't deserve peace? Some of us are ready. We are tired. I am more than tired. I don't have peace in my heart. I cannot rest. I can't sleep. Because my brothers and sisters do not sleep with two eyes closed. You sleep with one eye closed. You cannot even predict what is next. Our livelihood is in a sham. We are under the siege. There has not been any election in Uganda that President Museveni won. He has always rigged election. He has never won, and nobody wants him. Enough is enough. Let him pack his load and go. Because what he does is, when he sees that our tribe, the Acholi from northern Uganda, in bad terms with him, he will pretend to be in good terms with the Baganda. When the Baganda is in good terms with the Baganda, he will be in good terms with Acholi. So he has that tactic, the tactics of divide and rule. We have tactics. We are not ready. We are united. We are uniting to make sure that this man goes. Let's leave Chagulanyi alone. This is an indigent of He's a bone of our brother, is our son. They must leave him alone. Nothing should happen to Chagulanyi. Nothing. And they should know that we are ready. We are also here. They can use us like they always use other people. We are ready. We have knocked so many doors. Nobody wants to listen to us. When Museveni kept us in IDP camp, when I was a child, they did it on purpose to ruin our culture, to dismaim and kill us. People were dying in thousands on a daily basis. And people kept quiet. This is wrong. Enough is enough. Thank you, sir.
Dr. Juliette Essien there. I think very, very powerful statements that you're making. And I think I can tell the passion in your voice and the frustration. It's so tangible. But I'll come back to you, Brother Charles, because there seems to be a very, very strong sentiment around Museveni's son, Muhoozi Rugaba. How influential is he in Museveni's administration, and is he really being set up to become the next leader, the next president of Uganda?
Thanks again. I, for one, Muhoozi, actually, I can believe that he's not a soldier, because I can confirm that if you are a soldier, and you believe that you are a general or a brigadier or lieutenant colonel, a professional soldier does not utter certain words like that. If really the father is trying to groom him to be the next president of Uganda, he cannot use certain words like that, because we got experience. We have seen him even using a word that he will take the Republic of Kenya within 5 minutes. He brings tension. So a person like that who claimed to be a professional officer in the military, he cannot use a certain word. He has to follow the ethics of the military. I believe that he has all the military command council, they advise him, whatever, and the father is a soldier. And how come that he uses certain words? Remember, sometime back when Kizza Besigye was arrested, he came to the social media saying that he's going to kill Besigye in Gulu. That is northern part of Uganda. How can he say such a word? And if he claimed to be a professional soldier, I don't believe that. and Ugandans have seen him. He does not qualify to be a Ugandan president. We condemn it in the strongest terms. Ugandans don't like him just because there's no other option. There's no any other option. That's why Ugandans are just quiet and waiting to listen to his nonsense. When he sends messages to the social media, the Facebook, we shall kill you, we shall do this. Can remember, up to now, Kiza Besije, incarcerated. Kiza is in the prison, maximum prison. Up to now, last week, no food, no water, no medication, until his wife came 2 days ago. And then I think also he went to social media, he called a press conference in Kampala, because they don't trust even the services in the prison, in Luzera prison. So they needed a private doctor who can examine the old man. The old man worked with your father, Karunarga. He worked with them. They know themselves. But why is he punning this gentleman to the highest degree that nobody is they are framing a lot of statements upon him? You know? So we Ugandans, we don't see him as a potential to replace his father. We condemn it in the strongest way. We don't like him to be the next president of Uganda. The Uganda belongs to all of us. It's not a dynasty whereby you can choose anybody, or your son, or your nephew, because we can see forever that over 67 members of Museveni family, they are the ones ruling the Uganda. The mother is the Minister of Education. The cousin brother is so and so. This daughter of Museveni is the governor of Uganda, Bank of Uganda, whereby about 2 years ago, $17 million was stolen from the Reserve Bank of Uganda. Can you imagine? How come? A Reserve Bank is a government entity. How can a daughter who is the governor of the Bank of Uganda, $17 million being strangled from the Bank of Uganda, Central Bank? It is impossible. So we don't support the idea that Muhoozi should be the next president of Museveni or Salim Saleh. None of their members who are enjoying now in the leadership of Museveni, we believe that we condemn it, and we don't want each and every member of Museveni to rule Uganda again. Thank you.
Dr. Essien, let me come back to you. At what point do you believe Uganda as a nation lost it? They lost the respect of the rule of law. They lost the respect of the democratic processes like a free and fair elections, to a point where we have a president that can live for 40 years and go as far as extending his term of office, and also having a scenario where you have family members being in key and strategic positions of the country, where it's essentially a dynasty, as Brother Charles there mentions it. From your perspective, at what point? What was the turning point of Uganda's trajectory to what we see and know it to be today?
Thank you. I take you back when Museveni came into power by the gun, because in 1980 there was an election which was free and fair. He ran for that office with President Milton Obote, may his soul rest in peace, and he got 1% of the vote, and he made it clear that he was going to the bush to fight, and indeed he fought. That was how we lost our democracy. Museveni came into power by the power of the gun. He's using the gun. He has always used it, and he still continue to use it, and is now consolidating himself with his son, who is now a grown-up. His son is my age mate. We are the same age. So what is happening in Uganda, I tell the world, let the world know that there is excessive force on us as the indigenes of Uganda. The Uganda is under the rule of the Tutsis, the Tutsi dynasty, because they know, if I'm talking about Tutsi dynasty, the white man, they know that give us Katanga and we give you Tutsi dynasty, the Tutsi kingdom. So Katanga is in Congo. These people have never practiced democracy. Museveni is not democratic. He tells everybody that for him is a liberator, is a freedom fighter. Can a freedom fighter be democratic? It's not democratic. The world should get that clear. And for us who are now grown, I'm an elder. When you clock 50 years, you're already an elder. I am an elder. And I can speak with my head upright without fear or favor that Museveni is not democratic. We lost it in 1980 when Milton Obote was voted into office. So as we talk right now, I tell you the truth. We have 23% of Uganda People's Defense Forces, UPDF, as Tutsis. Those are Rwandese. They've already occupied our space. They have come in disguise during 2024 when Muhoozi was pretending to celebrate his birthday. That is when he brought in his uncle, President Kagame, to come in with 5,000 generals. Now they are also forcing out our so-called children, our true brothers and sisters who are the indigents of Uganda to get out, and they retire them. When they retire them, they are replacing them with the Tutsis. So Uganda is under siege. We are being ruled by these foreigners. These are refugees who were actually brought into, they came to the country and we gave them hospitality to the highest order. Now they are paying us with death. They are paying us with all this sham. They know their game. They know what they are doing. There is no democracy in Uganda. And as I talk right now, whatever his son is doing, it is a planned game. They know it. They are doing it jointly with Rwanda. They know their game too well. Nobody should think that we are closing our eyes again. We are waking up and we must unite as Ugandans. All of us who are true indigents of Uganda, we must rise up and join our hands. There is no more. Bobby Wine has gone around the country and he has at least, because that was the only opportunity he had to go around and tell Ugandans that let us unite against this foreigner. He is not a Ugandan. Obote said it. Mwanga, who was the vice president during Obote's regime, also said that Museveni is not a Ugandan. And it's the truth. He knows it. And his name is not Museveni. His name is Tibuhaburwa. When now we dug out his information, now he started writing his name that is also called Tibuhaburwa. But earlier on, he was disguising, he's called Kaguta Museveni. Kaguta is not even his father. That one is his stepfather. Museveni is not a Ugandan. He has now held us hostage for too long. Enough is enough. The world must hear us. We shall speak. For me, I'm an activist and I don't fear. I will talk out my mind. I will say it as it is. I don't fear. I don't have any favor for anybody for any kind because I have seen it all. I can only turn shape. I'm like gold. I've gone through a lot in the hands of Museveni's government. And the way he's using, he will use, when if he wants to use you, he will pick you up and you think that you are loved. Once he has used you, he will dump you and pick another one. That is his game. We have learned it a long way. We now know there is no way Museveni is going to deceive any Ugandan. And my last warning to Museveni, let him and his son leave Kyagulanyi alone. This young man went out there because the constitution of Uganda allows that anybody who has interest to contest for that high office is free. And indeed, it was valid. If it was not validated, he wouldn't have, because he qualifies to contest for the position of president, which he did. Why are they going for him? Museveni, when Obote won the election in 1980, he said that even before the election, he said if he loses the election, he is going to the bush. So that was a red button. It's a fault of Mr. Obote to have even allowed this man to go out scot-free. Because if they had dealt with him at that moment, we would not have this problem in Uganda. This man is not a Ugandan. He must leave our country alone. Let them go back where they came from. These are people who came all the way. These are black Arabs. Their origin. These are black Arabs who were dismissed from their home. Those of Gaddafi, they are the white, and this one, we have it here in Nigeria, they are called the Fulani. The Fulani are the Tutsis. So they roam around. They are roaming around the world because they were dismissed. They were sent away. They say they have the banditry behavior. So the white Arabs pushed them away down to Niger. When they Niger, part of them entered Nigeria, they went to Ghana, they went to Ethiopia. into Uganda now from Rwanda via Rwanda. But one thing I would like the world to know is this. There was once a tribe called the Twa in Rwanda and the Hutu. So the Twa they were hunters. So when the Tutsis, now the Kagame's tribe, they came, the Museveni's tribe, they saw that these people are very vicious. What should we do? They first made sure that they got rid of that tribe. Now that tribe has been extinct. This is what they are trying to do to us. They want to kill all of us. They want to take over our land. And for us, we shall not stop. We shall speak out to the world. Just as they did in Rwanda, they killed all the Twa who were hunters. Afterwards, they now kill Abiyaramana, who is a Hutu, and they displaced them. They killed them in numbers. You know the genocide, if you read about it, what happened in Rwanda. These are the same people who are now in Uganda destabilizing the peace of our country. Our country, we are very hospitable. We are very loving people. We are very kind people. But these Tutsis are so arrogant. They have that rudimental behavior. They don't regard anybody as human. They look at themselves as they are superior. So,
Dr. Juliette, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to cut you. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I think we have to look for another time to expand this conversation a bit more. Charles, thank you so much also for your time. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for both of you for giving the world, for giving Africa some insight on the true and lived realities of Ugandans. We're going to leave it here for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
There we go. That has been our #Africa Focus feature with a deep dive on Uganda and the recent elections. Wish we had a bit more time to unpack it a bit further, but we don't. We're going to leave it for now. We're going to wrap it up. News and views will continue after this.
The problem for Afia is it's so complicated. I mean, it begins with her being the woman who was put through the torture program by the US, the only woman really. But then it gets far, far worse that the CIA abducted her 3 children, apparently killed one of them, never admitted that, the 6-month-old, but then forcibly adopted the 4-year-old girl into a white Christian American family on the obvious principle you can only go to heaven if you're a white Christian American. And then the 6-year-old boy, an American citizen, Ahmed, they put him in prison in Afghanistan, and then they took Afia off to Bagram Air Force Base, where I've now been several times, and tortured her for 5 years. So this is a shocking, shocking story, and I speak as an American when I say I'm really sorry, both to Afia and her family and to the world, that we behaved so badly, and it's our job to clear up the mess, but we need your help.